my space like cloud. Brace on a frown. Tinted, I got loud. That is for you, but I can't choose an amount. This type of weed be happy when there isn't a top. I cannot be a prodigy when they put me in a box. Roll my windows down, I see her and smile. She got you like a towel, I got you like cloud. Cause I went to fix it all, I hate Manny. One off a bar, one off a Zanny. I know you saw me, but you can't speak when you keep doing all again. I don't care about a 10, I want the peace. Stall again, until it's fall again. Yeah, I repeat, keep talking about receipts when you could be remarking it. Sorry for seat, I stole the scene. Free parking it, she bringing the B on the street. Try hogging it, and you gotta be on the sheet. Cause even when muddy, I still step out on clean. Cause nothing beats all the weight, and I need me. I need my space like cloud. Brace on a frown. Tinted, I got loud. That is for you, but I can't choose an amount. This type of weed be happy when there isn't a top. I cannot be a prodigy when they put me in a box. I just need my crown, hinting about how I'm about to tower up above the ground. I got me some sticks and stones for when I can't speak. I'm throwing those all in a candy. She do the most, I said please, just leave it be. I'm on a roll, baby can barely believe that I've seen the scene of us all at peace. Maybe we just need trip to show that we can be afloat, but we sinking, just roll, pick up speed, and no, we could bring the heat, but she fine already. I wanna leave, and despite the plenty of all the rings, like I'm Mike in Jackson is all I sing. I be like injecting you with the feelings of height. Baby, take my sights off the steering, I might end up out of time. The reason is like, baby, stay too fine. She shine like a light, but I need my mic. I need my space like cloud. Brace on a frown. Tinted, I got loud. That is for you, but I can't choose an amount. This type of weed be happy when there isn't a top. I cannot be a prodigy when they put me in a box. Roll my windows down, I see her and smile. She got you like a towel, I got you like cloud. Cause I went to fix it all, I hate Manny. One off a bar, one off a Zanny. I know you saw me, but you can't speak when you keep doing. Boo. So I am in this outfit because it is very hot in my room. Yeah, it's a little toasty, and I thought it would be good, so I put on like a fit I was really happy about. I was like, oh, W video fit, and then I walk out of the bathroom with the fit on, sweat instantly, and I didn't want it to ruin the fit, you know. So, you know, where we come from, drip is good when it's not actually dripping. Then there's a problem. So I was trying to not have that happen. So I'm wearing this, which is kind of funny, but it don't matter. We're gonna push through. I'm gonna low-key move this. Dub, I'm gonna be, for future VOD viewers, I'm gonna be making videos about people I love, right? The reason I want to make videos about people I love is because that's kind of why I did anything in the first place. Like, when I rewatch older videos I made when I was in like 3rd grade or even younger, I would always give a shout out to someone at the end of my videos. Basically, everything I did was for other people, you know? Who's this? New setup? Not too much. I just kind of move my stuff upwards, but it's still the same everything. But I'm just standing right now. I can like jump. But good for trying to pay attention. Keen eye over here. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about people that mean a lot to me. So the first video I'm actually going to make is about one of my uncles, because the first video I ever made in like 3rd grade, which would be like 10 years ago now, 11 years ago, at the end of the video, I shouted out my Uncle Wes.
Lil Wesley, and I love bro, so I'm gonna be talking about him for a video. And then I'm just gonna kind of rinse and repeat, do kind of everyone I can think of. Yeah. Also, Sonati, you gotta hit me up about something. I keep seeing you be online on Discord. You ain't hitting me up. We gotta make some. I'd love to see what we could do. That'd be fun. But yeah, let's get it started. Sorry, I'm like playing football with my freaking phone. One of the issues about talking about people though is I don't really know too much about them. Also I gotta like make sure I'm in the freaking frame, gang. Hold up. Let me make sure. That's good. And I need my space iCloud. Wrist on a file. You just got no laptop? Oh, new laptop. Bet. When? Did you just get that? That'd be fire, bro. Get FL on that. That'd be cool. Yeah, I've been trying to wait to do some. The one guy I was doing stuff with all the time, he's like hours behind me. So it'll be like 8 p.m. for me when it's like midnight for me. I mean 8 p.m. for him when it's midnight for me. So by the time we get like 2 songs done, it's like I fall asleep. Cause it'll be like 5 in the morning, bro. So we're in the same time zone, so it should be a lot easier than that. Better? Bet. Did. Okay. No, I see you. Yeah, you'll have to hit me up about something. Whenever you're free, bro. I'll try to make it work. Preferably towards nighttime, but it doesn't have to be nighttime. Just after like 6, But let's get started. I think I'm going to talk about my uncle first. Wesley. I think that's your normal name, but Uncle Wes, you are one of my favorite people in the world, right? I was looking back at older videos, and the first video I ever like posted, I shouted you out in the end, and it touched my soul in a way that nothing else ever has. So I'm going to make a video about you 11 years later. Just recently, I found out that you play a lot of instruments and you're really good at music, and I never knew this my whole entire life. So I went year after year after year thinking that nobody in my family had anything to do with music, and then I have a casual conversation with you and find out that you play every instrument under the sun. So that was pretty eye-opening. On top of that, you also like sports like crazy. You play a ton of different sports. You know rules about sports I could never even sit myself down to learn. I think one of the reasons I dedicated my first video to you is because I looked up to you in ways that I didn't really see in other people for some reason. I obviously don't know for sure because it's 10 years later. I'm not the same person. But I do have an absurd respect for you over a lot of other people in the family for some reason. Not to compare. That's what I'm saying! Not to compare. Comparing's pretty bad. But I do feel closest to you. And with a lot of people in my family, I've never had like deep talks with them. Like I've never had a heart to heart with like literally anyone in my family besides like my cousin just recently. And then maybe my immediate family. So there isn't like a crazy bar that's set of like how close I'm going to feel to someone because, I've never really felt absurdly close with anyone. But I think when I was younger, I looked up to you because you guys, you and your amazing wife, which is my aunt. You guys, I'm trying to think of that perspective though. When I was in 3rd grade, what were y'all doing? I think you guys were a lot more just like open to everything, Like you never saw things as a competition, which is the vibe I always got from the rest of my family. Um, you guys always were more just like open to new stuff. You know, like if I showed you something, you guys would genuinely be like, that's cool. You know, which I guess isn't that crazy of a thing, but to me, man, that was the world. I assume a lot of what I looked forward to and what I did when I was younger was videos. So shouting you out on the first one definitely really meant something to me at the time. And I remember first making videos and showing my family them, right? And you guys always being so responsive to them. I remember live streaming like 10 years ago. I would be in my basement live streaming, just me doing random stuff. And my aunt and uncle would always join. And you guys would like cheer me on. You guys would be there. It was great. Right? I would make Minecraft videos. You guys would still try to understand them and talk to me about them. I remember first being at your guys' house, learning that Uncle Wes was actually in a band or something like. I don't know if he was in a band, but he was like playing instruments or whatever. And I was like, this is crazy. But I was so little, I couldn't have like a conversation about it. I didn't know what anything meant. But I vividly remember being there, and it really changed the course of my whole entire life after. So, props to you. Like I said, though, we haven't really had any crazy deep conversations, so it is kind of hard to keep this video going because I don't know what else to say. Besides, I see a beautiful future ahead of us, and I hope we can get closer. As I understand more about life and I look back on what I didn't know, it's really cool to see that there's been people like that there for me, you know, because I have to understand they've gone through stuff too. Just like how I have recently, you know, but they fought through, they pushed, and then they saw little me and they encouraged little me, you know, like that's beautiful after all they went through, and say, I can relate, Ode. What does ODE mean? What does ODE mean? Am I lost? I can relate, Ode. Did you mistype? Gang, I got no clue. Am I Unk? No, but I hope we can all relate. You know, having someone like that in your life, I think, is very important, you know, to not like shut you down. Even recently, my music is kind of one of those things where it just seems like, what's that word? It seems, oh, there's a word I'm looking for, bro. I guess like arbitrary would be the closest, but I feel like me doing music and videos to my family just seems as kind of like how you look at your SoundCloud rapper friend from middle school, right? I just get the vibes like no one actually thinks I do anything crazy, and everyone just thinks I just kind of want to be I want to be Drake someday, you know what I mean? But my Uncle Wes and Aunt Carly were the only people who I really felt like they saw something different, right? And I don't think it was good. Like they didn't listen to what I made. They didn't look at what I made and was like, this is amazing. But rather they actually felt like the energy behind it, you know? Like they saw that I had drive, that I had will, that I had like oomph in what I was doing. You know what I mean? And that's what they encouraged. They were like, don't stop that. That's freaking amazing, right? Where everyone else was looking at like, well, it's nothing compared to Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? It was like comparing. I can overly relate is what OD means. Oh, the ODE. Okay. OD, I got you. Yeah, OD is like a lot. I got you. You can relate a ton. Who's your person? Do you relate with your unk as well? Or do you got kids you be encouraging? Because I think, yeah, from my little perspective, one of my favorite things in the world was just people acknowledging not like my existence, not acknowledging my existence, not acknowledging what I was doing, not even like appreciating me, right? But it was just aware. Like I I loved when people around me were aware that I was building stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Yes, bro. And how does it feel, Sonati? How does it, yeah, your unc. That's what I'm saying, bro. How does it feel? That's life changing to have someone like that, isn't it? I truly think that can like change the whole outcome of your life, bro. Just having people like that. I remember some of my favorite memories is I would go over to their house. I used to record my dad music. Used to record your dad's music. You were recording your dad's music. You were the engineer. That's kind of crazy. But I remember going to my Uncle Wes and Carly's house before they like even had kids, bro. Which is crazy to feel. Oh my God, which is crazy to think about. Crazy to think about. Oh my God. And we would go get pizza. He would let me put on certain music, I think. I don't really know. I used to not really be obsessed with music like I am now, so I don't even know if that was the thing. But all I thought about back in the day was videos and like Pokemon Go for a few years. So I think it was around then as well. Oh, your unc. Oh, your unc used to record your dad's music? Oh, so you got like a family lineage of music. That's pretty fire. That's pretty clean. You have to show me some stuff, gang. That's pretty heat. Yeah, for my family, I don't got anyone immediate that does music, but there's a lot of people in my family who do music. So much that I found out this past year. Like, I got this one uncle, but he's not my actual uncle. It's like he's in my family, but it's like a few people away uncle, not like my immediate uncle. But he's like 80 years old, bro, and his whole entire life he would like tour around like different states and stuff. I'm like, how did I not know about this? Like, it's crazy. I went up to vacation and I talked to him for like the first time ever, and he was like singing me a song and whatnot, saying that like I remind him of him. And your uncle is a YouTube motorcycle content creator. That's kind of crazy, bro. Motorcycles? That's sick. Do you be riding around on them? I would. I'd probably get hurt though. I'd do some motorbikes. I'd go up like I want to go like off-roading though. I don't want to take a motorcycle on like a highway. I'd rather go dirt bike off-road on like a hill. You know what I'm talking about? But man, bro, yeah, people can really change your whole entire outcome, and I think that's what my Uncle Wes really did for me. Whether it was just letting me choose what to have for dinner, like pizza, or even even I know this isn't too much about him anymore, but his kids, bro. The first kid they had, her name was, I don't know if I can say her name. I don't know if they want me to say that. The first kid they had, her name started with a B, right? And I was the first word she ever said. The first word she ever said was Blake, which at the time was like earth-shattering. It was like, that's kind of crazy, bro. I felt like a connection with her. She would always like freaking freak out when she'd see me and stuff. I would go over there just to spend time with her. It was so cool. Life-changing, right? And I think from the perspective of him, just the fact that he like saw there was a connection and then allowed it to like flourish, right? And he like wanted to go get, don't say bro. Don't say it. No, I got you. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it, what am I thinking? And confidential. I'm gonna keep it confidential with you. But I think as I get older, I spend a lot more time thinking about the perspectives of adults from when I was younger, right? Like what I'm saying, even if he was quiet, even if he didn't say anything, the fact that he still allowed me to come over, he got food for us and just let us get along type of vibe. That is crazy, and that means so much to me because as time goes on, I realize that even that's hard to do, right? Like as an adult. Like so many adults have like little demons on them every single second. They always want to intervene. They always want to make it about them maybe, right? They want a competition all the time. But bro, just like let it be. And I think that was freaking beautiful. And I love that. So I think things like that are why I feel really close to him and why I always have for the past 10 years. You know, that's why you were my first shout out. So, yeah, I don't really know what else to say, but thank you so much, Uncle Wes. And I hope that as time goes on, we can get a lot closer and actually have like a deep talk or something, right? I can really get to know you. You can really get to know me because, you know, as it's kind of come up, it's been a little wonky, at least for like me and family issues or whatever. So it's been weird, but no, I see a bright future and you're in it. Crazy. So thank you. Subscribe if you want to be more likely shown my videos in the future. Like this video so more people get to see it. It's an amazing message. And then listen to Blakey on all platforms. Blakey, 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 Blakey. Music, music, music. Everywhere. Oh my God. What else? I think I got like, who else do I love? Oh my God, my cousin, bro. That might be fire. That might be fire. My cousin, dude. My cousin. I got like a lot of them. I got a lot of them if you count like second cousins and stuff. But when I was growing up, there were really only 2 cousins that stood out to me. And they were probably who I was the closest with ever. And it would be Camden and Avery were their names. So Avery was older than me. She was the same age as my older sister. So they kind of got along, which left me with Camden. When I was younger, me and Cam would freaking do everything together. Like, literally everything. Every memory I have from being younger is with bro. Like, not even funny. Like I don't even know how to, like... like, literally everything. I remember playing Minecraft with him before I ever, like, played Minecraft alone. Like, it was always just playing Minecraft with bro. It would always be playing Minecraft with bro. All, like, the old mobile games I look back and think about playing, I played with bro. There's this one 2D mobile game on the Kindle where I would be like a leprechaun running around. It was basically Mario, but a leprechaun. I played with bro. I remember when Death Race for Love came out by Juice WRLD. I played with bro. We spun that record back over and over and over again while playing OG Fortnite. And I have such vivid memories of all of this stuff, gang. Like, we would bring our Xboxes to my grandma's house, play on 1600 ping, while listening to Juice WRLD and playing Fortnite in Season 3. Oh, my God. Right? That's the part of my life I would go back to any day. But it's because of Camden. It's because of you. Right? It's because of you. It's not because of Juice WRLD. It's not because of Prime Fortnite. Those were amazing. But that was the playground that me and Camden played in, right? So if there was no Camden there, I would have been alone at a playground. That's boring. So if I could say one thing to Camden, I guess it would be like, I love you, gang, you know? And the last time I ever said I loved you, you asked if something was wrong, right? And I know it's just odd, I guess, for the world to see like guys saying they love each other, you know? Normally that doesn't happen unless something's wrong, which I think is a big issue that needs to be addressed. On top of that, as stuff started happening in my life, me and Camden got more distant. And no part of me ever looks at that like, oh, you're so annoying for leaving me during the worst part of my life, you know? Because bro has his own life. You know, and I always loved that. I would always put his above mine. And if you ever ask me to order it. If you ever ask me the order of the most important lives in my life, his would come before mine. So I was never really worried about that. It's just that if I'm going to be here in the future, I want to be with Camden, you know? I think it is crazy to think about because what's crazy to think about is that all of the memories I have with you were like really young, you know? Like it's a different person for both of us. So it is kind of weird to be looking through this other me's life and just reliving the memories all the time, knowing that the other person I was close to is also not there anymore, you know? Or like a different person. You know what I'm talking about? And I think what's rough about that is because I never know when it's like too far gone, I guess to say. Like what if there's a point where he's a whole different person and I'm a whole different person that we won't even get along like we used to, you know? Not even like we used to, but imagine if we just didn't get along. Like there was literally nothing we could get along about. Right? And that would be like earth shattering. But it's almost like my ignorance is keeping it alive because I don't want to confront that. I don't want to confront the fact that we're both whole different people. So I kind of just hope in the future we'll be getting along, but I don't know for sure. So that kind of scares me. But if I reel it back a little bit and we talk about the past some more, you were there for me like no other, right? Even during the first initial oh no's of my family, right? The first oh no that happened in my family, you were there for me, right? I would stay on the phone with you. I would be texting you. I would tell you everything. You'd ask if I was okay. Stuff like that I really respect because why wouldn't I? I was when I first made music, I loved showing you so much, bro. I made music just to show you. The first times I ever wrote stuff were Minecraft parodies. I would write Minecraft parodies. First time I ever did was in timeout. I got in timeout. I was posted up here in my room and I wrote a Minecraft parody to Dark Horse by Katy Perry. I don't have it. It probably wasn't freaking good. But basically, I wrote it, went to my grandma's, showed Camden. Bro encouraged me. He was like, "That's fire, gang. You should make more." So I made more. I made more Minecraft parodies, all just to show you, gang. Like, obviously, I liked doing it because I kept doing it. It was what I loved doing. But at the end of the day, it was to show you. If you weren't there to show, I don't think I would have done it. Which is one of those things where it's like the butterfly effect in full motion. Because then that started to evolve into songs, right? Like when I would make songs, I would show you every single time. I remember my first ever my first ever album I made is kind of a different story because that was more of like a family friend type of thing, so I wasn't so obsessed with showing you. But I made this other project called Die Amazing, which was based off of Playboi Carti's Die Lit, which I only knew about because of Camden. Camden really liked this type of music, and I kind of didn't. But then there was one night where I put it on and listened to it. Everything changed, right? I tried listening to Die Lit like 4 times in the past before this moment. And every single time, it just didn't click. I was like, what is this? What is this? I don't want to listen to this. But because Camden kept telling me, it's good, bro. It's good. Trust me. I kept trying. And then the last time, right? Like the 4th or 5th time, it clicked. And it was really good. I loved it. So much so that it inspired me, right? The first song I ever made, recorded vocally, was a mocking song. I had marshmallows in my mouth because I wanted to sound like a mumble rapper because that's what was popular at the time. It was like 2018, 2017, 2016, that type of vibe. So I put marshmallows in my mouth to make fun of mumble rappers. So that was my whole thing, basically. And I kept that going where I made Die Amazing, which was basically me making fun of Playboi Carti, trying to sound like him on a project. But it actually ended up sounding good. You can find it somewhere online, right? There was like an article written about it too. But but I was so happy about Die Amazing sounding good because I could show you, right? That's what brought me so much joy. I remember the night when I finished it and I published it, you were over my house and I just kept playing it for us, bro. And I know, I look back and I knew you were probably so annoyed of it, but it was like, that's what kept me doing it, bro. That's what kept me going. I just couldn't wait to show you, right? And I didn't want to stop showing you because I like felt like that's what I was doing everything for. And I look back on it like I don't really know why, you know? I love the fact that you were so involved. Like there would be times where I would try to be like, you should record on this, and you would still try even though you knew that like you weren't really into music. Like it like bro. Oh my god. Gang, we were like one, bro. I look back on that. You were so special to me. Like I truly don't know where I would be if I never had you in my life. Every time I'd go to a family event and you would be there, it would be 10 times better. Right? Sometimes I would only enjoy it if you were there. You know, and if you weren't there, awkward, right? It's like it's not the same. Sometimes I try to imagine us growing up now where like TikTok's a thing and stuff, and I feel like we would be more distant. I don't feel like we would be as close as we used to be, right? Because nowadays the world is very, very good at putting you in a niche. You know, with TikTok, with algorithms everywhere, you're getting shoved into this niche that you can walk outside and never meet someone that knows about what you do because it's so niche. And I think if that's the world we grew up, we would have not have gotten along, right? We grew up at the time where there was only like 3 options. You know, it was either you really like Minecraft, you really like Marvel superheroes or something. You know, like everything was so known and those were your options, right? So we both did sports. We would both play Minecraft all the freaking time. Neither of us like superheroes. So it was like perfect. It was the perfect storm. But if we grew up nowadays, the things we could like are endless. Like literally, and they have never been so endless as they are nowadays. You know, it's honestly insane. So I am very thankful that we grew up in the time we did, right? Because I was so bored in Time Out that I wrote a parody, and that's what started everything. But if we grew up nowadays, I might have just scrolled on TikTok and sent you like a meme. I might have just scrolled on TikTok and sent you a meme or something. Like it wouldn't have hit the same. So I'm so blessed that it was the time it was because that made me who I am. That made you who you are. And us was a thing. Even if it was just for a few years, even if it was just for the childhood, it was freaking amazing, bro. And I would never change that for anything because I think you were truly what I needed, you know? As I got older, as I got older, as I got older, I started doing stuff more for me, right? To really look at the good in it. And sometimes that's really beneficial. Sometimes it is kind of empty. But I think it's really cool because even my music and my videos have both helped me. Like I'll look back at older stuff I made to help me now, which is insane. That's pretty crazy. So it's almost like I replaced you. Right? There's two of me instead of two of us. But everything like in my family kind of started going downhill around like middle school, right? And we were still really close in middle school. But then when I hit high school, everything got really bad. And we were in high school, you know what I mean? Like you have your own life. You're making new friends, you're doing new stuff. It's like I didn't want to impede on that, you know? Like I didn't want to just be like, "Hey, worry about me." Like no. Like I said, I would put your life, your experience above mine. I'm not going to try to pull you down to where I am. Instead, I wanted to lift myself up, and I had to do that. And I always knew that you were there for me. And there were a few times where I did go to you. But everything just always ended in the fact that it's like nothing changes, you know? So it is still just like life ain't fun, you know? It's freaking annoying. Like there's never a day where I wake up and I don't hate myself. Really, really, really bad. Like really bad. You know? So my only choices are to keep thinking about how much I hate myself, and every moment of silence I want to slam my head against the wall 50 times until I go unconscious. You know, I really want to do it in the shower so then I can fall down and drown and I even wake up. That would be really fun. So instead of doing that, I distract myself by doing things that are more helpful and more joyous, make me look forward to the future. Um, and thinking about you helps keep that in place. You know, you're one of the people who I still do everything for, even if I don't show you anymore. It's more of like the archetype thing, right? Like the archetype of that really cool cousin. The fact that I know it's not just you out there. Like there's millions of people who are going to be like you that are 10 years younger. You know what I mean? So I can make stuff for them instead of you directly, if that makes sense. It's like the essence of you still lives on through other people who I can then inspire. But just like I'm going to say, but just like I'm going to say in like every other video on this types of, oh my God. But just like I'm going to end up saying in every other video with this type of topic, I see a bright future and you're in it, right? I think after a few more heart-to-hearts, we could be closer than ever. You know, maybe even more closer than when we were playing Minecraft and listening to Juice WRLD in OG Fortnite. And that's what I really look forward. And that is what I really look forward to now. You know, I'll push through every single day, going through hell, just to finally see the light. You know, as long as I get to appreciate it with people like you. So yeah, thank you for everything you ever did. I hope you, I'm sure you don't, but I hope you don't ever like feel bad about not being there or whatever. Nothing you can do, gang. It's the world's problem. You know, not even really me could do anything. But if I'm here in the future, I want to be there with you. So yeah, hope that, hope that I don't even know. Yeah, shout out Camden. It's your boy Roy, 23, Subscribe if you want to be more likely shown my videos in the future. Like this video so more people get to see it. And then listen to Blakey on all platforms. Blakey. Music. Everywhere. She asked me if I have, so I'm blessed. Why is it? Dancing like Diddy, getting like spaghetti. Okay. Do I love anyone else, bro? Low-key, no. We got my sister. Hi, Kaylee. This is a little bit of a iffy video because all the other people I'm making videos about are either way older than me, so it's me trying to like see the perspective. Oh my god. So it's me thinking about when I was, oh my god, gang, I don't know how to word that. All the videos I'm making about people I look up to either have already gone through life or are about to go through life. And you're like the most mixed one. You're like the one that's in the worst possible spot. I mean that as in we can't really have any deep talks, right? What you think is a deep talk right now is not going to be what you think a deep talk is in a few years, you know? So we can't have the type of deep talks that I yearn for. So it is kind of like I do treat you low-key like a child. Like I have to see you like that because I can't treat you like you have my mind. Because I'm so much more thought through. One of the things about Kaylee is that she also is pretty sensitive, and even me saying stuff like this might get to her, might low-key hurt her, which is why it is a little bit different than other people, you know? I tend not to look up to people who get hurt really easily, you know? I look up to people who can like talk their feelings out and have a conversation about it without it being like a competition and all like rah, 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 commotion, right? But she escalates it to where it's rah, 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 commotion all the time. So that is the one thing I do want to start off by saying, right? But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It just isn't complimentary to me. It isn't someone I would look up to. It doesn't really help me at all. It just is. It just is. That's what it is. If you see that as a bad thing, if you're hurt by it, sorry. But I'm just trying to say how I observe. One of my favorite things about you is how freaking joyful you are. Hearing your laugh is contagious, and 90% of the time hearing your laugh is contagious, and 90% of the time it doesn't stop. You just keep laughing, gang. And I think that's so amazing and good to look forward to. Like I picture a future where there's someone like that in, oh my god, I picture a future where there's someone like that in it. Like, imagine being close to you in the future and you're just freaking happy, bro. You're just laughing about everything. I think that'll be really helpful. I think that'll be fun. Another thing about you that's really cool is that you seem to be more emotionally mature than other people your age, especially. You're also more emotionally mature than some people older than us, if you know what I'm saying. But it's more of like an emotional awareness, right? Like you understand that certain things might hurt people. You understand that people say certain things that might hurt you. But I don't think you have emotional clarity. That's the one thing that I think you can build easily more than anyone else. And I can't wait for the day where you really work on that. But as for now, it's like you're aware of what emotionally changes you really fast and what you can say to emotionally change other people. You're good at picking up certain emotions in the situation. But I think you can't clearly see a cause and effect. That's the one problem. Like if someone says something that hurts you, you would just get hurt by it and point out how it hurt you instead of looking at a possible cause and effect of how it led there, you know? Like maybe they didn't mean to hurt you. There's something deeper, right? Like I think you would rather say you hurt me even if you didn't mean to, instead of being like, how can I change to not be hurt so easily? You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. The last thing I want to do is pin you as a victim, being like, it's your fault, it's your fault. Like, no. But I think emotional clarity is seeing through all that hurtness in the fog, right? Like the fog is just this big pain everywhere, right? But being able to see the good through that pain is the clarity part. So when you unlock that, let me know. That'll be fire, gang. We could have some talks for days. But a lot of that is just your age, right? But a lot of that is just the age that you're at. Like you're going to be more insecure. You're literally in public school, which is, how can you be there and not be insecure, basically? Like that hellhole of like, oh my goodness, bro, I would... Man, bro. All school is just comparing. Make fun of. You gotta be like this. You gotta be like this. You gotta be like this. All day, bro. So I can't have you go through that and expect you to be okay. So I fully empathize with you, and I understand. You know, I just want to point out problems that are still there, even if they're not your fault. But with all of that out of the way, let's talk about our memories, right? I had some amazing memories with you throughout my life. You're probably the person who I have the most memories with, right? I think so, more than anyone. I think you would be, because you've literally been here for 15 years of my life every single day. Some of the bad memories are from when I was really young and I would pick on you, right? Like I have videos of me literally tormenting you. Like you would be like in a room and I would start playing like Baby Shark nonstop and you would get really, really mad and annoyed at me. I'm really proud of myself for never being like physical, because I know some people who are like really physical to like their siblings especially, or like their friends. I'm really happy I wasn't like that, because if I had to look back at me like punching you, I would be like, I would have grief, bro. Like I would, what's that called? Guilt. I would have guilt. But the worst memory I look back on is literally me playing Baby Shark and then you crying. So I think that's not the worst thing in the world. Our good memories, on the other hand, oh my God, bro, they're like endless. As you started getting older and we did start getting along more, you make everything better. Like literally everything. Like everything in the world is better because of you. Every time we go to a family event, if you are not there, I don't want to be there. I don't. You make it better. You make it worth it. You make it fun. Even in my own household, I would rather go downstairs if you're there, right? I'd rather talk to people with you there. I think one of the scariest things that I've been aware with, oh my God, bro. I think one of the scariest things that oh my God, I can't speak. I think one of the scariest things that I've been aware of for the past like 5 years is how bad social media is for these younger people. And I'm one of the younger people, but the people even younger than me. I have seen day after day how it sucks you out of existence and traps you in this little world of just scrolling or even watching TV shows, watching movies. It don't matter, gang. It just keeps you locked. And it makes you drown out your normal feelings about life because you can distract yourself with media. That's one of the biggest problems I've seen for everyone in the world, right? Like I've had really close friends who had TikTok addiction. Oh my God. I had really close friends who had TikTok addictions. I had really close friends who would watch movies every single day to fall asleep, to wake up, to be motivated while they're doing literally everything. And I really noticed how bad it was. But the one person who I cannot shake this feeling from is you, right? You're the one person who I've ever wrote a song about to do with this. Not just one. I've probably written over 10. I was going to have a whole project called Screen Time just because of how bad these emotions hurt me. I hate when I go out of my room and all I see is you looking at a screen. And you don't look up at that screen for the whole day. I don't like that. It really hurts me. So much so that I've made so many songs about it. And now even videos. And it's one of those things where, because of the issues I brought up earlier, if I ever talked to you about it, you would be hurt. You would think I'm trying to attack you. Which is why I can't say anything. You know, I've tried before, but it just ends in you shutting me out. You being like, don't tell me what to do. Right? So I don't tell you what to do. And instead I watch back as you slowly fade away into the screen every single day. Right? And obviously you're not turning into a zombie yet. Like, you still have some days where you are bright. You still have some days where you are up and you can have good conversations and all that. And you are really funny and you laugh a ton and all that. But truly, I know for a fact, 5 years from now, when you're 20, or even 5 years after, when you're 25, and you watch this video, you will agree with me. You will agree with me that this was bad for you. Right? Right now, you won't agree with me. If I go talk to you right now, no. You're going to shut me out. But I know for a fact, in 10 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, Blake was right. I know that. I normally am not that confident about certain things, but this is one thing that I know is a poison. This is a poison. This is a drug, literally. And you got caught up by it. I get caught up by it all the time. In no part do I think I'm better than you. Because for some reason, when I try to talk about people about this certain stuff, they always turn it on me as if I don't have problems too. Yes, I have problems too. Yes. Yes, all the time. I look at myself and be like, I wasted time and get mad all the time. But that doesn't mean I can't try to help you too, right? But I think it does, because what's there to do? You know, just get shut out over and over again, making it seem like I'm just, you need to get off your phone. Like, no, I don't want to seem stupid like that. But when I think of you, that's what I think of. I think of someone who is constantly enveloped in a screen, not doing anything productive, literally watching a screen for distractions. That's what I think of. So I really hope that thought shifts and changes throughout the future. That's what I really hope. And I honestly see it as changed in the future. You know, you have a whole life ahead of you still. I don't think you've wasted your life away by any means. You've definitely wasted maybe years, but not a whole life. So I see the future of both of our lives where we're getting along, you know, and maybe we aren't so developed in screens all the time. And we actually can talk about the world and get to see it for ourselves instead of on an iPad or a phone. A couple years of my life too, a couple years of my life as well, I also spent really jealous of you, right? Because I always felt trapped in my body. Even now, even today, I got really upset about it. Even yesterday, I got even more upset about it. Even the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and the day. It doesn't stop. It really doesn't stop. It does not stop at all. It won't go away. It won't go away. It really won't go away. It really won't. It's here. It's here all the time. So I don't like my body at all. And sometimes I see you and I get really jealous that we came from the same family, we're in the same house, but we have different bodies and stuff. And I truly was devastatingly jealous of you. Like really bad. There was a point in my life, like probably a few months long, where I didn't even want to support you. I didn't even want to talk to you because of how bad I felt jealous of you. Every time I looked at you, it made me want to get angry. It made me upset just by looking at you, just by thinking about you, right? It really got in the way, you know? And that was a pretty big problem. And it also really hurt because my parents didn't see it as that. Like my parents saw it as me not supporting you, as me not supporting you. They just saw it as blanket statement. They saw just the surface of everything. Even if I talked to them about what was going on deeper, they didn't see it. Just like how you don't in this day and age, right? When I try to talk to you about deep stuff and you just say no, you just don't get it. You know, it's the same thing. So I've always been shut away by my family, not getting it. You know, telling me I'm just wrong about how I feel all the time. So it really got in the way when you were the person I was jealous of. So, you know, I hope you don't look at stuff like that like I was really hurting you, because I was hurting me even worse. Yeah, like seriously, like if I'm being as honest as possible, I think about wanting to go all the time, like all the time, not wanting to be here. Truly. And you are one of the people that causes that, not because of you being like mean or anything, but literally just you existing in my mind is what I could have been. Just you existing, not you doing anything. And that causes me to want to go. because I feel like I got the worst end of the stick and you got the better, right? But you also keep me going because I love you and you're amazing. You're one of the best people in my life. And if I'm here in the future, I want to be here with you. So this video out of all of them is probably going to be the most like mean, the most like real one. I don't know. But I also have the idea that you're not going to watch this video for like years. You might never. So you out of all people is the one I could make an updated version on, right? Once you're older and we can have some heart to hearts. But for now, the version is this. You're at that middle stage where we can't really have deep talks. You don't really get me. And you just say you don't agree with how I feel. Right? And that makes me treat you as you're just kind of there. You know, I'll listen to you talk. I love talking about your school drama and stuff. But at the end of the day, there's no depth when you don't know who I am. You don't listen to me about who I am. It honestly seems like you don't care about who I am. And a lot of that is probably because you're younger, which is what I've been saying. Perfectly okay for your age. But it doesn't make me feel better. You know, like it doesn't make me feel like there's depth. It just makes me kind of aware of the fact that there's not going to be depth. So I don't treat it as such. So that's my true thoughts about you and me. But goodness gracious, I love you so much. I think you're going to be amazing in the future. Like beautifully amazing. I can't even put it into words about how I see you in the future. I love your style. You've shown me so many songs, bro. Like, I wouldn't like the same music I do if it wasn't for you. Like, by far. You're probably one of the people besides Camden. Camden would be number 1. You're number 2 on showing me the music that I like. It's harder to pinpoint memories with you because there's no favorites. You know what I mean? Like, all of my best memories with you are just you being there, gang. Like, when we go somewhere with family or we go in public and do something with the family and you're there. That's what I love. You know, I love that we can also just be like friends because a lot of siblings aren't, which is kind of weird. I grew up in a world where like siblings would fight and that was just the thing. Because that's what they did on Disney. Because that's what they did on Disney, right? You would put on a Disney movie and the siblings would be getting at it. So then in real life, people just mimicked. I never saw that as the thing to do. I don't really know why people liked that. But for me, I just liked being there for you. Obviously different when I was younger because I was still learning. When I would play Baby Shark and torture you. That was me learning. But no, now I learned that it's like love, gang. I love you. And I know you love me. But I truly hope someday you can really, really love me. Like, you can know me. Because I don't think you do now. Which is, you know, one of the things that makes this video a little iffy to make. Like, I don't want it just to seem so bad. Like, I do think you're an amazing person. There's just so much that makes it difficult to see you as someone close. Like, you're close in the fact that I see you every day, but you're not close in the fact that you don't know who I am. You know what I mean? It's really weird, bro. It's odd. It's like a living, what's that thing called? It's like a living paradox, basically. I'm sweating, bro. I am like dying. Okay, hold up. I don't really know who else to do. I'm low-key gonna do one about my family, but not in the love way. One pretty important detail about my life is that I've never looked up to my parents. And this is difficult to say because I've always wanted to, especially recently. You know, I look back at me growing up and notice that I lived a lot of my life in fear. A lot of my life was stress, and I didn't even know what stress was. I wasn't able to describe stress until I was 18 years old, closer to 19. But I experienced it all through my childhood. The amount of times my parents were there for me was a lot, right? Like, I'm not going to act like that didn't happen. Like, I used to be really anxious about going to school when I was in like second grade, and I would call my dad every morning, and that meant so much to me. I remember the calls still, even now. Right? I remember all the times we would play, we would do things like sports that I would love. Those were really fun. For my mom, she would actually try to get stuff that I enjoyed. Like, when I liked piano, she would try to get me into piano stuff, which from her perspective was helping me, but from my perspective, it was limiting me, right? So I guess she just didn't get that. But honestly, no, I think she has a different perspective on things. I just think she sees everything in a different perspective, though. So no, harm to that. But there's just a lot of things I can appreciate about both of my parents. But the one, I guess not one thing, it would be like 100 things under the umbrella of one thing. My parents are not people to look up to by literally like any means, right? One of my favorite things about my dad is that he like doesn't do bad stuff, I guess. Like he does what he needs to do to support his family, which is freaking amazing and great. Like, I grew up with friends who would have parents that would drink all the time, right? Maybe they wouldn't have such a good job. Maybe they would be disrespectful to their family, like swearing and stuff. I don't know, like yelling all the time. Not a good environment is what I grew up with some of my friends staying in. So I was always blessed to have, a dad that didn't yell at me, a dad that didn't drink all the time, and a dad that kept a good job and was loyal to it. That's the stuff I'll look up to him for, which is better than nothing, 100%. But in no means is it actually like motivating. I don't really know the right word to say there. But basically, I don't think in my head, I want to be like my dad so bad. I want to go get a job, keep the job, and then have a family, and then just live. There's nothing. It just ends. It's just ... Like, it's like, what's next? One big thing about my dad in particular is that he spends a lot of time when he's not working just distracting himself, which is sad. and heartbreaking. Not something I want to look up to. If anything, it demotivates me. If anything, it wastes my time thinking about how sad I am for him. I don't want to get older just to have a job and then come home. Even if I have kids I'm coming home to, just to watch TV. That's not what I want to do. That's just not what I want to do by any means, right? I want to learn. I want to be 50 years old and still excited about learning about new animals, learning about stuff to do in space, learning about quantum mechanics, physics, right? Literally anything. I want to be happy and motivated to learn about. And that is something that lacks in my household, right? It's one of the things where it's like you kind of are built by your parents until it's something like this. Because I am so driven to make more, make more, make more, make more. Just because I see my family making nothing, right? I walk out of my room and I see my dad watching TV. I see my mom watching TV with him. I see my sister watching TV in another room, watching TikTok. It is the most demotivating thing in the world, bro. And on top of that, sometimes it leaves me feeling like I can't do anything, right? I'll see that. Does that make me want to do anything? No. That makes me want to go to my room and then just like look at a wall until the next day. Like, it's like there's nothing that I want to do when that's what I see. And I hope that makes sense because it doesn't make sense to them. I talked to them about it and it makes literally zero sense apparently. But to me, it makes perfect sense because it's what's happening. I'm thankful for the house my parents were able to provide me. I'm thankful for the food they put on the table. But all of it seems meaningless when there's no goal, right? And all the goals that they see as goals is like a new job, a raise in your income, a girlfriend, right? That's what they see as goals. That's what they see as goals. For me, my goal is to understand why I'm even here, right? Not in a philosophical sense where I want to literally know why, but I just like, I don't understand why I would want a girlfriend when I don't even know why I wake up in the morning. I don't understand why I'd want to raise if the only thing I can spend money on is, like, I don't care about any of it. Why should I care about buying a house just to wake up in that house not knowing why I'm here? That's one of my biggest problems, right? I look up to people that make me feel like I have not a purpose, not a reason, but just like am alive. I don't care about feeling like I have a purpose. I don't care about feeling like there's a reason why I'm alive. I just want to feel like I'm actually alive, right? And I don't get that in my household. My household keeps me alive by providing me structure and food, which I'm so grateful for. But it doesn't give me a lot. It doesn't give me a life. It feels empty. It feels like there's limits everywhere. It feels like I'm trapped. My ideal person to look up to is someone who is fascinated about things, right? I want to not know what the next day brings. I want to be surprised, but that doesn't happen here. Routinely, I can predict exactly what's going on outside of my room without even going out there. Every single day, I will know exactly what's going on because it's one of like two things. That doesn't make me feel like I have a life. That makes me feel like I'm in a little simulation, just watching the same thing every day, watching everything slowly rot. people I do really look up to, unfortunately, are also people I don't know in real life. It's people who are like low-key famous and stuff, which is kind of unfortunate. Because I have so many friends in real life. Some of them make music. Some of them do cool things. But still, they're addicted to TikTok. They're addicted to watching shows all the time. They don't want to keep making stuff, right? They make stuff like once a month. Nobody's actually committed. Nobody's obsessed with it. And I'm not saying you need to be obsessed with it. I'm not saying my parents have to be committed to making songs just like me. Like, no, bro. By no means, no. But all I want is just an unpredictability. All I want is it to be unpredictable and in a way that's nourishing, a way that feels like growth, evolution. Not stagnant, not a plateau. I'm talking about up. I want to keep going up. But I feel like I'm being held back. I'm trying to go up and it's like, I'm being pulled. Because all the possible joy in the world is being blacked out by my family just staring at a screen, distracting themselves from their own emotions, right? And I think that is so upsetting. I don't really know. But that's not what I want to be in the future. And part of me is scared because I feel like that's what's going to happen. Like I think about that all the time, that's what's going to happen to me. I'm going to get older and I'm going to be just like my parents because my dad didn't like his dad. And if he describes his dad as someone who drinks all the time and watches sports. Y'all hearing what I'm hearing? Y'all hearing what I'm hearing? He's just like his dad, besides the drinking part, which is great. Progress. But now I want to be like my dad without all the parts, without the TV part, without the drinking part, without all of it, right? So I hope that makes sense. I'm just scared all the time that I'm going to end up just like this, that like everything I'm trying is not going to work. And then I'm going to end up just distracting myself from even existing every single day, even with kids, bro. And I don't want that to happen. I really don't. If I'm going to be here in the future, I'm going to be learning, I'm going to be evolving, I'm going to be inspiring, and I'm not going to be predictable. That is the last thing I will be. When I have kids someday, I want them to be excited about what's Blake learning about, right? What's Blake doing? I want them to be excited to come out of their room because they can't wait to hear what new thing I know, right? What new thing I'm building, what new thing I'm doing. It doesn't have to be music. It doesn't have to be art, but just something fulfilling. That's what I plan to bring to the table. And I rest my case. Subscribe if you want to be more likely shown my videos in the future. Like this video so more people get to see it. And then listen to Blakey on all platforms. Music, everywhere. Blakey. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go eat. I'll be back. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna stream later for sure. I'm probably gonna make music, But I also want to make sure I edit, because I've been making videos and not editing them, which is pretty unfortunate because I should do that. But it just takes so much time. So I'll be back making music, but I probably can't stream for crazy long because I gotta edit. So I'll see y'all. I'll catch y'all on the flip. I'm gonna go eat. I'll probably be back in like an hour, less than 30 minutes. But I loved this. I'm actually happy I made these. I'm happy I talked about what I talked about. There's some true troopers in my family, gang. They're amazing.